Hi there. In this video, I wish to talk to you about the effective strategies for writing a research paper title. So writing the title of a research paper is quite challenging. Research paper title is usually like a movie title. Usually a movie project takes months or sometimes years to complete. Once completed, the biggest challenge is to distill all those years of hard work into a single sentence, a topic. So writing a research paper is far more challenging because you have to distill an 8,000 word or a 6,000 word document in a single sentence. Writing a research paper title helps in increasing your citations if your title is very specific, and it helps also the other researchers and the other readers to locate your paper clearly. If your paper is without ambiguity, it helps them to locate it very clearly, and it also helps to maximize the impact of your paper. So let us explore the fundamentals of writing a research paper, or let's explore the 10 commandments of writing a research paper. After I talk to you about these commandments, in the description box I would leave an action plan matrix. You can download that, apply it in your research context and frame your title. So please don't forget to download that worksheet, an action plan worksheet. So let's move on to the 10 commandments. Commandment 1 is use proper keywords in your title. For instance, if your research is on face-to-face and online classrooms, then these two keywords should appear: face-to-face classrooms, online instruction or online classrooms. So keywords are very, very important because it helps in search engine optimization. It helps in identifying your paper. So use the right keywords in your title. 1 or 2 keywords. Use the right keywords in your title. So that's the commandment 1. And commandment 2 is be concise and clear. These 2 C's you should remember. By concise I mean the length of your title, suitable title, the length of the title. The APA guideline for a title is actually 15 words. Though there is no rule carved in stone as to how many words you should exactly use, the recommended guideline is 13 to 15 words. But again, it may vary from journal to journal. Maximum, it should be 18 words. So you can follow the APA guideline in that regard when it comes to the length. And that is what I mean by being concise. And by clear, I mean that there should be no ambiguity in your paper. Try to avoid ambiguity. Do not use any jargons in your paper. So it should be very clear. Commandment 3. Do not use redundant expressions. For example, online classrooms versus face-to-face classrooms. A study on. There are a lot of papers which gives titles like this, and study on or an empirical investigation on. If you want to bring the method also, name the title. For example, online classroom versus face-to-face classroom, a qualitative study. So like that. So do not use any redundant expression. Repeat what you have said again by saying an investigation on. So these are very lengthy sentences. You can definitely reduce the unwanted fat. So the commandment 3, no redundant expressions. Commandment 4, do not use any abbreviations in your paper. No abbreviations. See, in the language teaching context, we use words like ESP, English for specific purposes, EFL, English as a foreign language. When you are writing for a specific journal, remember that these are well established acronyms that the research community knows. You can use those kind of acronyms. That is accepted. But again, when you are communicating to a multidisciplinary journal, maybe the journal may not know what an ESP is or what an EFL is. So in that context, it is better to avoid these kind of abbreviations. Again, you have to be very judicious in the use of abbreviations. So the commandment 4 is no abbreviations and no acronyms, but of course there is a rule in this. You can use well established abbreviations that the research field knows. So that's the rule about abbreviations. Commandment 5 is avoid repetitive titles. You should definitely make a search, a Google search, before you zero in on your title. Whatever you have decided, type the same title in Google and see if somebody has already published any papers under the same title. So you should definitely make research on that. That's quite important. Or else it will be repetitive. So that is what I mean by avoiding repetitive titles. So don't let your titles not be repetitive. And commandment 6 is your research paper title should be in alignment with your research questions. For example, my research question could be, which is the effective mode of instruction? Is it online instruction or face-to-face instruction? Or my research question could be, which mode results in better learning outcomes? Online instruction or face-to-face instruction? So these ideas should be there in my title. So the title should be very much in alignment to the research questions that I have raised. So remember to ensure that your title is in alignment with the research questions. And then commandment 7 is let your titles be descriptive. Let it not be declarative or interrogative. For example, an interrogative title could be, which is an effective mode of instruction, face-to-face or online? Here you are using unnecessary keywords by asking questions. So avoid interrogative titles and also avoid declarative sentences. So let your title be descriptive. So that is what I mean by descriptive titles. The 8th commandment is, first write down the working title. You can roughly document your title because it is very difficult to write a specific title at the outset. It will undergo a lot of iterations. So what I mean is, write down your working title, just roughly what your title is. Then, because your target is 15 words, remove all the unwanted fat. Whatever words are not necessary in your context, remove those words. So then you can very well frame a suitable title. So that is what I mean by framing a workable title at the outset. And then commandment 9 is ensure that your title is free of errors. Of course, your entire research paper should be free of errors, but double check, triple check for grammar, for punctuations. That's very important. For spellings, which spelling do you use, American or British? What is the journal guideline? So look at the title with a microscopic eye. So that is what I mean by grammar and spelling. And commandment 10 is adhere to the journal guidelines. So having said about the strategies of writing an effective research title, again every research journal will give you a guideline on every aspect in the author submission page. If there is any specification with regard to a title, look at the specification. So just remember these 10 commandments before you formulate a suitable title. As I said before, download this action plan matrix from the link given in the description box. If you find this video useful, you may share it with your other research friends. Thank you for viewing.